am making some simple Swiss macarons cinnamon flavored. So I have 150 grams of almond flour, 150 grams of powdered sugar, 120 grams granulated sugar, 120 grams egg whites, half a teaspoon cream of tartar, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. For the Swiss method, you actually heat up your egg whites and your sugar and the cream of tartar over a double broiler until it reaches 120 degrees Fahrenheit. This will help invert the sugar so that it's a stable meringue that we fold into the flour mixture. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix this all together. This is a thermometer in my whisk. So you turn it on, it reads Celsius. So I'm going for 49 degrees Celsius, which would be 120 Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna whisk constantly over a saucepan of boiling water until it reaches that temperature. Then I'm going to put it in my standing mixer with a whisk attachment, beat it on high until it reaches a stiff peak. And I'm gonna show you what that stiff peak looks like. Okay, the mixer's on high speed. You can hear that in the background. That is whipping with the whisk attachment, the hot egg whites, tartar, and granulated sugar. Now we're gonna work on the dry ingredients. So I'm going to, in one bowl, add the almond flour, the powdered sugar, and the cinnamon. And then I'm going to sift it twice. So I'm going to put it through my sifter. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the power of your mixer, to get that meringue to stiff peak. So I do this while I am waiting for it to get to stiff peak, hence why it's loud and the mixer is on. So now I'm going to sift this twice, and then we're gonna fold it into the meringue. All right, I've sifted through this twice, and now I'm going to check the meringue and see if it is at stiff peak. Okay, the meringue is at stiff peak. The way you can tell is when you pull it away, it holds its shape and it stays at that peak, doesn't move. That is stiff peak. Now we're gonna fold in the flour to the meringue. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to fold in the dry mixture into the wet mixture, and we're gonna do it with the silicone spatula just so that I don't pop too many air bubbles in the meringue. I want it to stay stable. So I'm gonna pour it in, and then I'm just gonna continue to fold until it all comes together and it ribbons off in one even ribbon without breaking. At this point, it's just roughly combined. Notice if I tried to get a ribbon, it would not come off the spatula in a ribbon. So now I'm gonna continue to fold, folding like this until it smooths out a little bit more and will come off in one ribbon without breaking. At this point, it is a lot smoother and it's gonna come off in a ribbon. You can see it's not breaking. So this is where we stop. You don't wanna overmix or you're gonna make a melty mess. So we're gonna get out a piping bag and pipe it onto our silicone mat. Okay, scooped it into my piping bag, just cut off the tip. I have my silicone mat with the outline of the cookies on a light metal cookie sheet, but I actually flipped it around so that that lip doesn't increase the heat within the pan. Because it's a light metal pan, it will conduct heat very well. And your cookies are so delicate that you do not want them over baked. You bake them at a super low temperature for like 20 to 22 minutes. And I just don't want that lip of the pan ruining it. So to pipe it on, I'm going to stay in the center and have even pressure. Once the cookie's big enough, I'm going to just do a quick swirl around to release the bag without making a cone shape, like that. I'm gonna pipe them all, and then they have to sit at room temperature for an hour before you bake it. The reason why you do that is it builds that skin, and that is what helps get it that iconic feet when you bake it. And have the crunchy shell and the soft interior. Now that the whole pan is piped, you're actually gonna hit the pan against the counter 3 to 5 times to get any of the bubbles out. So there's one side, then I'll do it again over here. And that'll actually help the cookies smooth out just a bit.